What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this live presentation. This is be more vulnerable to get faster results in your dating life, right? So by watching this presentation at the end, I hope you'll be able to understand how being more vulnerable will actually improve your dating life and get you results faster. Um, Now, the reason I thought this was an important topic is because I noticed that a lot of when I look back at the time where my dating life was I was underachieving in my dating life, I find that during that time, I wasn't being very vulnerable. I wasn't being very authentic. I wasn't being very real. I was putting up a shield. I was playing a character that was not me. I was pretending to be something that I'm not. Okay. And, you know, some of it was from past trauma. Some of it was from incorrect beliefs, limiting beliefs. Some of it was just the wrong mindset, uh, being around the wrong people. But just to give you an idea, I used to play the shy character. Used to be the shy guy. Okay. And that was to protect myself, because I wasn't really a shy guy. I was just being a shy guy to protect myself because I was insecure about my personality. I was insecure about my self-worth. I was insecure about whether my communication was valuable enough to be heard. I was insecure about whether my expression was important enough during a social gathering or whenever I was around people. And so I would be the shy guy to protect myself so I don't say the wrong thing. I used to think that what I had to say was not valuable, right? Now, as I said, I had some past trauma. That came from past trauma, Growing up, I had a very strict father that would discipline me and scold me very harshly if I said or did the wrong thing. And the wrong thing was based on his opinion of what the wrong thing was. So maybe I thought it was the right thing, but when I would do it, I would get in trouble for it. And so it fucked with my head. I was like, okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to shut up. Maybe I need to stop expressing myself. Maybe I need to be quiet, okay? And I brought that behavior into school, right? When I went to school, I was afraid to say the wrong thing, so I would just be the quiet guy, okay? And in school, when other kids I would get, have these little experiences, a little puppy love and stuff like that, I wasn't having any of that because I wouldn't even express myself, so I couldn't connect with any girls, right? And even when girls would show interest, I wouldn't show interest back because I was afraid of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. And so they would lose interest. So once I got out of high school and I realized that I had a problem, okay? I had a problem when it came to my dating life. Like I had a problem when it came to relating to women, to females. I had a problem when it came to relating to men. I was shy around men too. Some guys that seemed similar to me, I would be more open with them. But other guys, I would be quiet around them, right? Because I didn't want to say the wrong thing. Didn't want to do the wrong thing, okay? But if you think about that, what is that? That's not being vulnerable. That's the opposite. That's me trying to protect myself. That's me putting up a front or a facade or whatever you want to call it to protect myself, a barrier, a shield, an identity to protect myself. It wasn't the real me. And so when I got out of high school, after underachieving in my dating life, underachieving with girls, not having any experiences, I made a decision. I was like, I got to do something about this because I don't want to go through my life and not have any experiences with women, or just settle for the first woman that came my way. I didn't want to be one of those guys. So I decided to do something about it, right? So I did my research. I went online. How do you get a girlfriend? How do you pick up girls? How you do this, right? And I'd find videos and articles, different guys saying, yeah, if you do this, then you'll get some girls. Go out and approach them and say this and do that. So I was like, okay, let me go out and try some of this stuff, you know what I mean, and see what happens. And the first time I went out, the shy guy appeared, right? So I wouldn't talk to anybody, right? I just would walk around. I went to a mall. I just walk around the mall, man. I would think about approaching a girl and saying something, and then I would hesitate, and I'd say, fuck it. And I just keep walking, And I just wouldn't do anything, man, because that identity that I built up of this shy guy, of this quiet dude, it was so ingrained inside me that I had to, break out of it, right? So that was actually my challenge. It wasn't even about picking up girls or getting girls. It was about me handling my insecurities, this fake character that I've designed that's not really me. I had to figure out how to break free from that. And guess what I had to do in order to do that? I had to be vulnerable. I had to put myself out there. I had to put the real me out into the world and let the real me get judged. And it wasn't easy. Like going up to girls and approaching them and, not really having that confidence or that charisma or whatever, you're going to get rejected, bro. Like, I'm going to just be real with you, right? And so that's what happened. I would get rejected and it would hurt. Okay? It would hurt because when you're putting the real you out there and you're being vulnerable and you get rejected, that's the real you getting rejected. So you feel it, right? You feel it in your soul. But what it did is it strengthened me as a man. It strengthened my character. I learned how to deal with rejection. By being vulnerable, you learn how to deal with rejection. And when you're able to deal with rejection, it allows you to persevere until you get accepted, until you get to that girl that is right for you. But in order to get to that girl that's right for you, you have to go through the rejections. The same way when you're in a sales job, in order to get the yeses, you have to go through the no's. So it's the same thing, okay? But what I found is when you're vulnerable, you weed out the people that are not right for you. That's a better way to look at it, right? When you're being vulnerable and you put yourself out there and you communicate, and if somebody's not connecting with you, it means that's not the right person for you. Because if you're putting out the real you and being genuine and being vulnerable, and you have positive intent and you're not connecting with someone, obviously you're not supposed to connect with that person, at least not at that time. And so when I say speed up your results, that's how you speed up your results, because you weed out the people that aren't right for you and you get to the people that are right for you. When you're being vulnerable, you connect with the girl that you're supposed to connect with, because you're being you for real, right? Now, when you approach girls and you try to be something you're not, you try to be cooler than what you are, or try to be tougher than what you are, or whatever, you'll attract someone who's attracted to that front that you're putting up, that fake character that you're being, that fake identity, whatever. You're gonna attract girls that are into that. And what's gonna happen is, if you do attract a girl that's into that fake character that you're being, you're gonna have to figure out how to maintain that throughout the whole entire relationship, because she's attracted to that fake character that you're playing, okay? And that's gonna be difficult for you to keep up that illusion throughout the whole relationship. It's not gonna happen, okay? At some point, she's gonna see through the bullshit. She's gonna lose attraction. And so now you don't put some time into something that was, you could have put that time somewhere else, into a girl that was really into the real you. Okay, so this idea of being vulnerable, what it does, man, is it gets you to the right people faster. That's how you get results faster, is by being you. Being the real you. You'll connect with the right people. Stop wasting your time with people that are not for you, right? Girls that are not for you. Attracting the wrong kind of girls, okay? When you be real, it's hard to be vulnerable, though. It's not an easy thing to do, because, as I said, when you put the real you out there, you're going to get judged. And some people are going to reject you. Some people are not going to be with it, right? They're not going to vibe with you. And when they reject you, if you're not used to getting rejected or you haven't really been putting yourself out there, it's going to hurt. It's not going to feel good. Okay? That's why, when I went out and I tried to approach women, those first couple of days, all I did was walk around. I didn't talk to nobody because I was afraid of the negative emotion I was going to feel if I approached a girl and it didn't go right. I would feel unwanted. I would feel like I wasn't good enough. I would feel like I was being rejected. But as I said, once you go through that a couple times, a decent amount of times, you start to see it for what it really is. You start to desensitize and you're able to see clearly. You see, when there's emotion there, it clouds your thought and you start thinking these weird things. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm too ugly. Or I'm this or I'm that. Right? Because you're in this scarcity mindset. But if you put yourself through this process by being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and getting judged and building up this thick skin and building up this character that can handle rejection, because you gotta understand rejection's a part of life. And as a man, you can't be hiding away from life. Okay? If you're hiding away from rejection, you're hiding away from life, because rejection's a part of life. And it's not going anywhere. And so as a man, you actually want to have a quality of, I can handle rejection. It's actually an attractive quality, because now you can actually be real. You can be genuine. You could be authentic because you're not trying to avoid something. You see, when you're trying to avoid rejection, you're going to behave in a way that's going to avoid rejection, which means you're going to filter your communication and not be the real you. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. Like, if you're, in your dating life, things ain't going how you wanted to go, like, are you being real? Are you being vulnerable? Are you putting yourself out there so you can connect to the right people? Or are you putting out a facade, right? Are you catfishing people? Part of the reason why I'm not too into dating apps is because there's a lot of girls that are catfishing on there, right? Not to say that I've really put too much time into dating apps, but when I did dabble in it, the girls that I did meet up with, they were catfishing, man. They didn't look like how they looked in the picture. They didn't have the same vibe that I was expecting either, right? They present themselves looking way cooler or way more awesome or interesting than what they are. And then when they show up, it's a different story. And so that's a waste of time. It's better for you to be the real you, be vulnerable, so then you don't waste time with these other people that's not for you, and you get straight to the right people. Now, if you put yourself out there, you're vulnerable, and you're not attracting anyone, it's okay. It just means you need to improve this version of yourself. Like, there's different versions of ourselves that we can become. There's always a higher level. Like, the version of myself that I am right now is a lot more attractive than the version of myself I was a year ago, or even 2 years ago, 3 years, because I focus on evolving, right? So being vulnerable, it allows you to put yourself out there and see how people respond to this version of yourself. And you just got to be real with yourself. Like, if you put yourself out there, you're being vulnerable, and you're not getting the response that you want, all it means is you just need to improve yourself. It doesn't mean you're doomed. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. It doesn't mean you're none of that. It just means you have more potential, right? You have potential to be greater. And so the universe wants you to become greater. So it's not going to give you the results yet. It's not going to give you what you want yet, because it wants you to raise your game. It wants you to raise up to become your higher self, because that's truly who you want to be. You want to be your highest self. It's just, are you committed to becoming that? That's a different story. Are you going to commit to it? Because there's a difference between wanting to be a certain way and wanting to achieve a certain result versus committing to it. Committing to it is going to require sacrifice. It's going to require energy. It's going to require discipline and focus. So this idea of being vulnerable is, you want to put the real you out there. You want to express yourself authentically, and you want to be genuine. Know your intent, know what the goal is, know what you want, and express it. And accept that you're going to have some people that's going to be with it, and some people that's not gonna be with it, and you're also gonna have some people in the middle, right? They call it yes girls, no girls, and maybe girls. There's gonna be some girls out there that are going to vibe with you, right? Because maybe you have similar values. Maybe you just look, you're just her type physically. Maybe you know what I mean. You just have some things in common. Whatever. Those are your yes girls. Those girls are out there, right? And you have your no girls. These are the girls that have different values. You're not their type. They're not fucking with your archetype. They don't, you know what I mean? It's just not a good vibe, right? And it's just not the person you're supposed to meet with at this moment in time. And then you have the maybe girls. These are the girls that kind of like you or maybe would potentially be into you, but you're going to have to work on them more, meaning you're going to have to demonstrate more value over time to increase their interest level, their attraction level, right? So these girls are like maybe, kind of on the fence or whatever. They maybe have a lot of options, maybe got other things going on, whatever. And so these are the girls where you're going to have to really show what you got, depending on if you want to, if they're worth it. If you think the girl's worth it, then show what you got, right? And this is where the seduction comes in. This is the long game, right? You're not going to get this girl right off the bat. It's going to take time. You're going to have to show her different experiences and show her the type, show her your value, demonstrate your value, and, let her see if she's interested. And if she's interested, then she'll demonstrate that. If she's not, then she won't, right? But it's up to you to decide, okay, where do you want to go with it? That's a maybe girl, right? These girls are going to take more effort than a yes girl would, okay? And that's just understanding, going out and talking to a lot of women, you'll understand, like, this is facts. Like, you have some girls that's just gonna rock with you, some that's not, and then you're gonna have the maybe girls. Those are the girls that's gonna require game, or your game, or just your ability to demonstrate your value over time. Okay, right? Maybe you need to increase the attraction level. Maybe you need to increase the comfort level, or maybe you just need to stand out more. Right? Maybe she has a lot of options. You don't know what the situation is. But the point is, you want to put the vulnerable, real you out there so you can get the proper feedback, right? So you're not getting bullshit feedback. Because if you're putting out some bullshit, you're going to get bullshit back, right? If you want to know the truth of where you're at, as far as how attractive you are to women, you got to put out the real you. You got to be vulnerable. And this will speed up your results because you'll get to the truth. You achieve results fast in your life by getting to the truth as fast as possible. Right? Like, if you want to be successful in business, you got to get to the truth of what is required for you to be successful in business. You want to be successful in your dating life, you got to get to the truth of what's going to be required to be successful in your dating life. If you're going to hold on to your old identity and hold on to your old beliefs and hold on to your old, hold on to your past trauma, like refuse to let go and all that stuff, you're going to stay in an illusion of what's really going on. You're not going to see, or get the proper experience from the universe for you to see, okay, this is what I need to do to get the result. You're going to get like a diluted, like weird ass lens that you're seeing through. You're not actually seeing the right thing. You're not seeing clearly. And so that's why you're having a hard time feeling, why is nothing working or whatever. It's because you won't face the truth. It's because you won't be vulnerable. You won't put the real you out there and get the real feedback and see where you're at with things and then improve yourself to get the result. That's one thing that I accepted. I was like, okay, I spent all these years as a shy dude, not getting these experiences with girls, not really putting myself out there. So I can't expect to be amazing, when I go and approach a woman, because I don't really have much experience, you know what I mean? But I had to get real with myself and say, okay, well, if that's the case, I'm going to have to go and get that experience. I'm just going to have to put myself out there. I'm going to have to go and get those rejections. I'm going to have those awkward moments, right? But I had a long-term vision. I knew that if I went through that, I would develop the character and the beingness to get that end result that I was looking for, right? To manifest that reality that I wanted to manifest. That become that guy that has options. Become that guy that can go out and approach women and get dates and get numbers and have an amazing day in life, right? But I knew that I wasn't that guy at that time. I wasn't that guy yet. But I had faith that I would become that guy. And so you gotta have faith. You gotta, and if you once you have faith, when you truly have faith and you truly believe in yourself, that will give you the courage to be vulnerable. Right? You see somebody being vulnerable and they don't really have the results, and you're wondering like, how are they doing this or whatever? It's faith. It's believing in yourself. Believing that if you stick the course, if you stay the course, and you keep moving forward and you keep working on yourself and you stay positive, that you will improve, you will evolve, and you will, level up and align with the energy, with the vibration that will attract and manifest that condition that you want in your life. But you have to get vulnerable. I'm telling you, even in business, in business, you think, oh, you got to know this marketing strategy and know this and know that, whatever. Yeah, it's good to know that stuff. But once you know that stuff, you just use that as to help you understand what's going on when you're dealing with people. But really how you connect with people is truly just being vulnerable, right? Just being real with people. That's what truly connects with people. You want to sell something, you got to connect with somebody on some real shit. They got to feel you. They got to feel you in their soul. They got to feel you emotionally. And the only way for you to do that is to open up and be vulnerable so you can connect. That energy can connect. And it'll come across. And that's why, when it comes to picking up women, attracting women, all that stuff, it's not what you say. It's not what you do. It's how you say it, how you do it. If you say it from a authentic, vulnerable place, it's going to hit harder than when you're putting up a front. Like if you go up to someone, you say hello. If you go up to someone, you say, hey, how you doing? Right? And it's just, just being free, just being vulnerable, just, hey, how you doing? No attachment to outcome or anything. People will respond to that better than the guy that's like, oh, I'm about to go and say hi, and this person better say hi to me. Okay, and I got to make sure I look cool when I say hi. I don't want to look weird. If you go up like that, hey, how you doing? It's a little more awkward now, and the person's like, what the hell? But if you just, just don't give a fuck, basically. Like, that's another part about being vulnerable. It's like you just stop giving a fuck. You stop being self-conscious. One of the ways to become more vulnerable is to stop focusing on yourself so much. Stop focusing on yourself so much. Focus on being selfless, right? When you're about to approach a woman, instead of focusing on, oh, how do I get her number, or how do I do this or whatever, ask yourself, how can I make her day? Because before you can get her number, you have to get her interested somehow. She has to enjoy communicating with you. And so if your focus is on making her day, you'll be able to at least get to that first point. That first point is you got to create some kind of interest. You have to create some kind of good vibe for her to want to talk to you first, right? If you go in and you're focused on, oh, I got to pick her up or whatever, she's going to feel that energy. She's going to feel that energy of, this guy's trying to get something from me, which is the energy that most guys have. And so right away, she puts you in a box of most guys. And that's a losing position. You want to be in a position where she's putting you in your own box, or you don't even want to be in a box. She's just putting you in your own lane, right? Because she sees you as, oh, this guy's kind of different, right? You may not know exactly what it is. That's why she thinks that. But it's because you're being real. It's because you're being vulnerable. You're not attached to the outcome. You're just trying to give. You're just trying to share good vibes, give good emotions, give a good experience. How can I make this girl's day today? Maybe share something. One of the things I would do, when I would approach women, I did this a lot last year when I was going out and approaching during COVID. One of the things I'll go up and say is I would go up to women and tell them, I would say, hey, I learned something new today. I would tell them something that I learned new for the day. That's interesting. That's going to get someone's attention. You're not focused on taking anything. You're focused on giving them some new information. Who knows? Who knows that information might change their life. So I literally go up to them and I say, I learned something new today. I just read this book and, it was about ancient Greek culture and I learned about the gods and this and that. Whatever it is I was learning for the day. Maybe it doesn't matter. But you're offering something. You're offering value. Here's some knowledge. Here's some information that I learned, right? And I'm not attached to the outcome. Like, if you don't want to hear what I have to say, that's your loss. That's the mindset. You have to come with this from this place of abundance mindset of there are millions of people and there's only one me. If you could just get to that point, you have to see how unique you are as an individual, and you have to appreciate yourself and start believing in yourself. Start believing that you're a great person. And if you don't feel great right now, start working towards that. Start working towards, I want to be a great man. I want to be an amazing man. Because if you focus on that, you'll get women. Because that's what women are looking for a great man, an amazing man. Not an average man, not a man that's full of insecurities, not a man that doesn't know how to be a man. A great man, an amazing man, that's what they're looking for. So if you focus on that as a goal, and what is a great man? What is an amazing man? A man of value, a man who benefits others. If a man does not benefit others, what value does he have? Right? You need to benefit others. Like, that's the whole point of what attraction is. Attraction is this girl has something that I like, something that I think is interesting. And the girl has to look at you and say, this guy has something that I like, something that I find interesting. It can't just be a one-way thing where you see her, you think she's beautiful, and then you walk up and you're trying to get her number and shit. What are you giving in return? Okay? And being vulnerable allows you to give something unique. Because when you're vulnerable, you speak from your soul. And your soul is unique. You speak from your heart. Your heart is unique. The way you express yourself, no one can express themselves exactly how you can do it. And so that's your value, actually. Now you just want to become confident in that, right? Because you, as a being, an individual being, you're interesting just because of the fact of how unique you are. But you have to raise your confidence in that. Raise your confidence in that and figure out how you can benefit others, right? What is your gift? What is your talents? What is the thing that people appreciate about you or respect about you or like about you or love about you? Amplify that, bring that up, raise that to the highest level that you can. Because you want to be able to, as a man, you want to be able to affect people emotionally. You don't want to have to go around convincing people of shit logically. Like, go up to the girl and say, hey, let me tell you why you should get with me. I got this and I do this. You don't want, nah, bro. That shit does not work, bro. Your beingness has to demonstrate what you have or who you are. Just the way you carry yourself. Like, when I go up and I go up to a woman and I say, hey, you know what I learned today? I was reading this book and da-da-da. Just me saying that and walking up to her with confidence like that, what does that say about me? It says I'm a confident man. It says I'm winning. I probably don't give a fuck. I probably already got some girls already. I'm probably socially connected. You know what I mean? It just demonstrates a cool, cool character. You know what I mean? A cool character, a fun character. I'm not serious. I'm not too serious, right? That's what you want to demonstrate in your beingness. You don't want to go up and convince any girl of anything. Oh, this is why I'm so great. Oh, look what I have. No, you want your energy needs to represent a man of value. Okay? You want to radiate that energy, right? But it starts by being vulnerable. You got to be vulnerable to find out who you are. You got to find out who you are first before you can really affect people like that. Because if you don't know who you are, you're still going to be insecure and timid and hesitating and shit. Because you don't know who the hell you are. So you got to figure out who you are or start creating who you are. That's what I did. I created who I wanted to be. I decided the kind of man I wanted to be, and I created it. I didn't even wait for for some shit to happen. I ain't waiting on nothing, right? Because I waited throughout high school and nothing happened in high school. I waited, I hoped, like, oh, let me see if I could get lucky. I didn't get lucky, bro. So when I got out of high school, I took matter into my own hands. That's why I went out and started approaching women. Most guys wouldn't do that. Most guys would just say, fuck that, man. But I was like, nah, bro, like, I'm not going to just settle, okay, and just be this shy guy or whatever it looked like I was going to end up being. I said, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to put myself out there, right? Put myself out there. And once you develop this character and these experiences and these references, and nobody can't tell you shit. Nobody can't come to you and say, hey, I read this book. This is what you should do. You look at them in the eye and you say, you read that book, bro. I went out and experienced life. I went out and approached women and got the real experience, and I know what's up. So you read your book, that's great, but you can't tell me shit, bro. Because you didn't go out and have these experiences. You didn't go out and put yourself out there and be vulnerable. You know, you stayed and hid and held on to your insecurities and held on to your past, and you didn't want to change. You didn't want to evolve. You didn't want to put yourself out there. And so we can't have this conversation right now, bro, until you can show me what you've done, not what you've read or what somebody told you or what your past told you. See what I'm saying? So that's the vibes, man. If you're a man watching this, you're not in the Sexy Beast Tribe yet, hit me up. I'll just put a link below this video so you could join the Sexy Beast Tribe. It's about men becoming more grounded in their masculinity, being more able to express themselves authentically and becoming leaders, leading in the masculine energy, okay? Because that's what's attractive to women. Women are looking for masculine men that are grounded, men that are real, genuine, authentic, vulnerable, not being fake, not trying to be cool, not trying to be something they're not, and men that can lead, take the lead, okay? But lead in that masculine energy. And grounded masculine energy. That means you got to have a purpose. That means you got to have goals. You got to know who you are, the character you're being, and you got to stay firm to it. Don't break character when a woman shows up. Woman shows up and then you start, oh, shit, I'm sorry. Start compromising, start apologizing for who you are and all this shit. No, that's how you lose the woman fast. All right? So hit me up. See you in the next video. Peace.